When I decided that I was going to tell him that I wanted a divorce, I texted my therapist, our marriage counselor, and I was like, I need to tell him that I want a divorce, but I want to do it in a session so that there's like a mediator present.
So this woman has obviously just tried to set her ex-husband up. She's called in the therapist. So it's like a 2-on-1 ambush. So obvious what she's trying to do.
Got us in like ASAP, like 2 days later. And I walked in knowing that I was going to ask for a divorce. And so we sit down in our session. It's like really tense, really awkward. My ex was sitting there like, so why do we have an emergency session? The therapist was like, Jamie, do you want to start? And I just started crying and I was like, I want a divorce. You know, it's hard for me to like say the words. And I was like, I'm done. I want a divorce. He sat there quiet. I'm sitting next to him crying. He didn't move. He didn't look at me. He didn't react at all. He just was stone cold.
Yeah, she obviously done that for a reaction. I don't think she really wanted the divorce. She probably wanted him to beg that they stay together because that would have fed her ego and she would have had all the power. And this guy gets it right. He says they expect drama and when you deprive them of it, it fries their brains. So big up to this guy, yeah, for making the right move. I mean, she pulled the divorce card and he called her bluff.
Real bad man.
And eventually our therapist was like, would you like to respond? So he responded right away and he's like, fine, let's just go ahead and finalize the details. And that was that. And I just was like, I looked at my therapist and I was just like kind of stunned. Like I knew that I was ready to leave that day, but I couldn't believe that that was his reaction. There was no empathy, there was no compassion, there was no like wanting to fight for us, which...
Well, I don't know why you think that he would want to even fight for you. I've only known of this woman for about 1 minute. And she comes across as very divorceable. Here's the actual footage of the guy leaving the therapy session.
I'm free.
I didn't think that there would be, but you know, you just always hope that like one last try, you know? We went home that night. We didn't speak. He slept on the couch. I woke up and went to work the next day, came home. He was playing PlayStation that night. I sat next to him. We hadn't talked in 24 hours. And I said, can we talk about what happened yesterday?
No.
He was just playing, just looking straight ahead. And he's like, what's to talk about? In my mind, I'm thinking, this is our last ditch effort to like steer this ship around, you know? And I was like, so what are we gonna do? And he just kept playing. And he was like, I already got an apartment. I already took my name off of the lease. He had done things within that 24 hours. He had opened up the filing folder of his single man life and went ahead and got all this shit done.
Yeah, I don't understand what your issue is. He got shit done because you told him you wanted a divorce. So he just done what any man would do and move on. I mean, if he hadn't have done anything, you would be on camera saying, I can't believe it. I told him to leave and he still hadn't gone. You can't win with these type of people. This guy says, bro got his life together in 24 hours and then hopped on a PlayStation. And this person said, she asked for a divorce, gets a divorce, still mad about it.
Gonna say it now. If we end up in a war with Canada, I'm fighting on the side of Canada. I'm a Michigander, okay? We're spiritually Canadian. I live down the street from a Tim Hortons and I can tell you the honest to God truth is that a honey cruller did more for me than the US government ever could.
If your daughter doesn't want to compete against trans women in sports, maybe your daughter just shouldn't play sports. Ever thought about that? Maybe she just like doesn't have that competitive spirit. Maybe she's just mediocre. Maybe she's not that good.
Wow, really? These be the same people that walk around screaming, down with the patriarchy. We're tired of men dominating all things women. This video isn't very pro-woman. As a matter of fact, it's anti-woman. You're willing to demean women and girls because you want men in their sports. Need you to think about this. Maybe, just maybe, it's not that the women and girls who want men out of their sports suck or are mediocre. Maybe, just maybe, they're tired of getting injured. They're tired of getting concussed. They're tired of putting their blood, sweat, and tears into something, dedicating their life to it, and and when the opportunity comes to showcase that, it gets stolen from them, all because there are people who refuse to accept that there is a biological difference between a man and a woman. Man, I feel like I'm more pro-woman than the so-called feminist. You can't be the party of science while at the same time denying that there is a biological difference between men and women. Let's keep women and girls sports for women and girls.
She really just said, if your daughter can't compete against men, then maybe she shouldn't play sports. Has she ever sat down and thought, maybe it's the men who shouldn't be playing sports if they can't compete in their own male division, instead of going over to the women's division where they have all the biological advantages? See, this is what we're dealing with. Completely backwards thinking.
If you're a fat personal trainer, you should be executed.
One of my favorite things is when the trash takes itself out. Hi, I'm Roy. I am a fat personal trainer. And I've been working in the fitness space for like 7 or 8 years now. And it never ceases to amaze me the amount of toxicity there is amongst other trainers. Personally, I advocate for body inclusivity in the fitness space always. And most of that stems from the fact that my own personal journey in fitness started with a severe eating disorder. My ED almost unalived me, so I have no regrets about being in a larger body now. And as it stands now, I don't work with clients who work specifically on weight loss goals because it's not good for my mental health. And there are thousands of other goals that don't have to do with the size of your waist. I was really nervous about having a career in fitness when I put on a little bit of weight, but people flocked to me because they no longer found me intimidating. I've been featured in Men's Health magazine. I was recently in a music video about loving your body, and I'm currently on a billboard in Times Square. You can think that size inclusive and fat personal trainers want to be executed all you want, but we're not going anywhere.
So let's get this straight. You're a fat personal trainer saying that you don't train people who want to lose weight because it's bad for your mental health. If you're a trainer and someone comes to you and wants to lose weight, which by the way is like the most common fitness goal, and your response is, I don't do that, then what exactly is it you do? Because I thought like 90% of being a personal trainer is helping people get in shape. Is your mental health that fragile that you can't handle a client trying to better themselves? Just like this guy said, hi, I'm an alcoholic that helps people get sober. I practice alcohol inclusivity too.
My name is Grace Martinez Rosas. I am an immigrant. I am undocumented, unafraid, queer, and unashamed.
But you are. Like,
You're being hit by the RNC.
You're changed. This is ridiculous.
Who got paid?
Oh,
but do you think that we're getting paid by George Soros?
We'll never be divided. The people united. We'll never be divided. The people united.
So what you do? Do a fit check. You gotta do a fit check.
Fit check. You gotta do a fit check.
You guys to be able to agree.
I just bought a
Sir, has to be able to agree on
I
these
had the
things.
money.
Ma'am,
You said the last 7. I want to make sure. You said you vote for.
I asked you a question and you said
to my children and my community.
I asked you a question.
And I
You said
answered
you
you.
wanted this. I said
And I
don't agree.
answered
And then
you.
you start
Last 7. I want to make sure. You said the last 7. I guarantee they were Democrats the last term, and they realized it's a bunch of BS. So now they're Republicans.
You call me a fascist. You call
You
me a
are
fascist.
fascist.
And you want me to agree with you?
Divided. The people united. We'll never be divided. The people united. We'll never be divided.
What is it with these liberals, man? They are, without a doubt, these type of people are the craziest people on the planet, and it's not even close, okay? Why are they so angry? What are they even fighting for? I don't get it. You'll never be divided, and they wonder why they lost. This is hilarious, but keep going, because it's good content, so...